Who will win? Fire WTA Wuhan Quarterfinals Showdown. Coco Gauff versus Laura Siegemund predictions. The Wuhan skyline shimmered under the night sky. Its lights reflected like jewels on the surface of the Yangtze River. Inside the illuminated arena, anticipation was electric. Fans waved flags from across the globe, some painted with stars and stripes, others with Germany's black, red, and gold. A storm was coming, not the kind that rains, but the kind that burns. Coco Gauff, the 21-year-old American sensation, had stormed into Wuhan with the confidence of a champion and the aura of destiny. Opposite her stood Laura Siegemund, the 37-year-old German tactician, a player known not for raw power but for her wit, guile, and sheer tenacity. 2 generations, 2 philosophies, 1 goal. The WTA Wuhan Open Quarterfinals wasn't just another match. It was a collision between youthful ferocity and veteran craft, and the tennis world couldn't look away. The young lioness, Coco's meteoric rise. Coco Gauff's story had long transcended tennis. She was not merely a player. She was a phenomenon. Since bursting onto the scene at Wimbledon 2019 by defeating Venus Williams, Coco had grown from teenage prodigy to world-class powerhouse. By 2025, she wasn't just playing for trophies. She was shaping legacy. Her performances in China had been nothing short of breathtaking. In Wuhan, she had dismantled Zhang Shuai with ruthless precision, following up her commanding win over Elise Mertens with poise that belied her age. Her serve, once a weakness, had become a weapon. Her forehand, once erratic, now ripped through courts like lightning. And her defense, fluid, graceful, unbreakable, had become the envy of her peers. Coco's game is maturing beautifully, said one commentator. She's not just reacting anymore. She's dictating. But Gauff wasn't satisfied. She was chasing something deeper, redemption. After narrowly missing a title defense in Doha and falling short in Indian Wells, she was hungry for dominance. Wuhan offered her a chance to prove that the next chapter of her career wouldn't be defined by pressure, but by power. And that made her dangerous. The veteran warrior, Laura's renaissance. On the other side of the net stood Laura Siegemund, one of tennis' most fascinating enigmas. At 37, many expected her to fade into doubles or commentary, but the German had defied every script written for her. Known for her intricate tactics, soft hands, and unparalleled anticipation, Siegemund was the kind of player who made opponents uncomfortable, slowing the pace, changing rhythm, forcing them to think rather than hit. Her craft was artistry, her mind a chessboard. In Wuhan, she had taken down higher-ranked opponents, including a grueling 3-set battle against Daria Kasatkina that showcased her strategic genius. Laura plays tennis like a painter, said former coach Dirk Hordorf. Every stroke has intention, every point has purpose. And now, against Coco, she faced the ultimate challenge. Speed versus strategy, youth versus wisdom, instinct versus intellect. Their history, clash of styles, clash of souls. Though they had met only twice before on tour, their encounters had left deep impressions. Their last match, in 2023 at the U.S. Open, was infamous for Siegemund's slow play and Coco's fiery frustration, a clash that went viral worldwide. At that time, Coco was still learning emotional control, while Siegemund's veteran gamesmanship pushed her limits. The incident sparked debates about sportsmanship, experience, and youth in tennis. Now, in Wuhan, they would meet again, older, wiser, and far more dangerous. The tennis gods, it seemed, loved poetic rematches. The build-up, energy in the air. The day before their quarterfinal clash, the Wuhan Open buzzed like a hive. Cameras followed Coco at practice, her serves booming across the court, her coaches murmuring about placement and angles. She was locked in, her focus absolute. Meanwhile, Siegemund trained quietly on an outside court, working on drop shots, volleys, and slice returns. No theatrics, no noise, just precision and patience. When asked about her strategy, Laura smiled. Coco is explosive, she said. You don't fight fire with fire. You redirect it. Coco's reply was equally sharp. I respect Laura. She's tricky, but I've evolved. I'm ready for her. The stage was set. Match day. Lights, noise, and nerves. The arena lights dimmed. The crowd hushed. The announcer's voice boomed across the stadium. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from the United States, Coco Gauff. Thunderous applause erupted as Coco jogged out, head high, headphones on, her eyes fixed ahead. Moments later came the call, and from Germany, Laura Siegemund. The German veteran stepped out calmly, waving to the crowd with the grace of a seasoned gladiator entering her final battle. As they stood for the coin toss, both players shared a subtle smile, the kind that hides both respect and rivalry. The toss went to Coco. She chose to serve. The battle begins, power versus precision. First set. From the very first point, the intensity was palpable. Coco's serve thundered to the court, 195 kilometers per hour down the tee, unreturnable. She followed up with a blistering forehand winner, but Laura's response was surgical. She slowed down rallies, using drop shots that forced Coco to sprint, sliced backhands that disrupted her rhythm. For the first few games, it was chess on clay. At 3-3, Coco found her groove. She began mixing up serves, pulling Laura wide before finishing points with aggressive volleys. The crowd roared as she broke serve for the first time. 6-3 Gauff. Coco pumped her fist, roaring toward her team. She had survived the veteran's trap. But Siegemund wasn't done. Not even close. The second set, the German counterattack. Siegemund came out in the second set with a different energy. She started slicing deeper, approaching the net more often, forcing Coco to hit passing shots under pressure. Her touch was mesmerizing. One drop shot after another kissed the line like poetry. Coco grew visibly frustrated. Her rhythm was gone. Rallies were awkward, disrupted. At 4-2, Siegemund broke serve with a cunning lob that left Coco watching helplessly. The German clenched her fist and shouted, "Ja!" 6-2 Siegemund. The match was level, and suddenly, Wuhan had turned into a cauldron of noise and disbelief. Final thoughts. Predictions fulfilled, futures forged. The 2025 Wuhan Open quarterfinal between Coco Gauff and Laura Siegemund wasn't just a tennis match. It was a story of evolution, a story of youth embracing discipline and age refusing surrender. Coco's win wasn't just about advancing. It was about proving that greatness isn't built overnight. It's forged through challenges, rivalries, and respect. And Siegemund? She reminded the world that even when time seems to run out, class never fades. In the end, both women walked away with victory. One in the record books, the other in the hearts of the fans. Epilogue. 2 paths, 1 legacy. As the arena emptied, the echo of applause lingered. Coco walked out into the humid Wuhan night, headphones on, heart calm. Laura stayed behind for a moment, looking at the court, smiling, reflective, fulfilled. 2 women, 2 journeys, 1 unforgettable night. And as the lights dimmed, the world knew one thing for certain. This wasn't just tennis. This was art, emotion, and destiny colliding under the Wuhan sky. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.